The Washington Commanders offense has been bad for quite some time now, as honestly the last time I could remember our offense being a powerhouse of some sort was in 2017 with Sean McVay and Kirk Cousins. Ever since then, the Washington Commanders have been in bottom half of the league when it comes to offensive categories, and obviously a lot of Washington's lack of success on the offensive side of the ball has been due part to them not being able to find a quarterback, but it's also been the offensive coordinators they've been hiring. And the last person has been Scott Turner, and Scott Turner was pretty bad here in Washington, and you don't want to penalize him too much because he never had a consistent quarterback, but he did have a lot of weapons and he never got them going. My biggest issue with Scott Turner was the lack of situational awareness, and also he made players fit into his game instead of building a scheme that fit to his players' strengths. So after 3 years of Scott Turner calling the plays here in Washington, fans were sick and tired of him as he just didn't get it. So Ron Rivera finally did what he probably should have done a year prior, and that was fire Scott Turner. Ron Rivera is fighting for his job practically. He doesn't want to admit it, but it is true. With new ownership coming here in Washington soon, there's no guarantee that Rivera is back for the future. So after Ron Rivera fires Scott Turner, he's out looking for his next offensive coordinator, and he's looking in the best possible scenario, the Kansas City Chiefs, as he's looking to hire Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is now the Washington Commanders' new offensive coordinator, and obviously people can make a case and say that Bieniemy should have been a head coach probably 2 seasons ago. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We got another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look into Eric Bieniemy's personal life and his professional career. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. Also, don't forget to check out my new YouTube channel, Juan Gotti TV, as we just dropped a Chuck Brown documentary. I think you will like it. That link is also in the description. Now with that out the way, let's get straight into today's video. Eric Bieniemy was born in New Orleans, Louisiana on August 15th, 1969. Okay, so no wonder why he's a really good coach. He was born on the best day ever. Leo gang, stand up. He later moved with his family to Hollywood, California in 1979 before settling in West Cove, California the following year. He later attended Bishop Amat Memorial High School in La Pluna, California, lettering in football and track and field. Bieniemy earned second-team All-American football honors as a senior in 1986 after rushing for 2,002 yards and 30 touchdowns. So after a successful high school career, Bieniemy enrolled at the University of Colorado in 1987, choosing them over the University of Southern California. He explained why. I have been used to living in a big city. I have never been in a small city. It was pretty. It was the first time I saw snow. It was just something different that I wanted to be a part of. He was an immediate starter for Colorado as a freshman and was named to the 1988 All-Big 8 Conference football team as a sophomore after rushing for 219 times for 1,243 yards and 10 touchdowns. Then in 1989, he kind of fell off a little bit as he had 561 yards and 9 touchdowns. Still pretty solid, but not what you expected coming off of the 1,243 season year prior. He played in the 5th down game against Missouri as a senior in 1990, in which 2 consecutive rushes by him were counted as a second down due to officiating error. By the end of the 1990 season, he was named the Big 8 Conference Offensive Player of the Year while finishing the 3rd in the Heisman Trophy voting after rushing for 1,628 yards with 17 touchdowns en route to a national championship. Bieniemy is Colorado's all-time leading in rushing, 3,940 yards, rushing touchdowns 42, and all-purpose yards 4,351. He was inducted into the school's Athletic Hall of Fame in 2010. Bieniemy there was nicknamed Scooter and wore the jersey number 1. But after a successful college career, he decided to declare for the 1991 draft, where he was selected by the San Diego Chargers in the 2nd round, 39th overall pick. Bieniemy's career was not too impressive in the NFL. It ranged from 1991 to 1999. He finished his career with a collective score of 1,589 rushing yards, 276 yards returned in punts, 1,223 yards receiving, 1,621 yards on kick return, 11 rushing, and 1 kick return, all while he was drafted with the San Diego Chargers 1991 and 1994. The Cincinnati Bengals from 95 to 98, and the Philadelphia Eagles from 99. He played under the Chiefs head coach Andy Reid. He was a running back for the Cincinnati Bengals from 95 to 98. Although his career didn't go how he may have planned, he made an appearance in the Super Bowl and recorded a 33-yard reception for the longest of the game for the team. Bieniemy he resumed his studies at Colorado after his NFL career and completed his degree. He then got into coaching. His first coaching experience was as an assistant at Thomas Jefferson High School in Denver, but the team failed to perform well in the season. He then went back to his alma mater, Colorado, as he was the running backs coach there from 2001 to 2002 and was the UCLA's running backs coach from 2003 to 2005, as well as the team's recruiting coordinator. There he coached Maurice Jones-Drew, who would later go on to have a successful career with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He would speak on their relationship in an interview, as he said he was pretty much the only reason why he went to UCLA, because he wasn't even going to go there at first. Their relationship was great, as he mentioned him being one of the best coaches he's ever had and how tough he is on him, but for good reason. Following the UCLA's 2005 Sun Bowl victory, Bieniemy accepted a position as a running backs coach for the Minnesota Vikings in the NFL. During his time with the Vikings, Adrian Peterson led the NFC in rushing with 1,241 yards in 2007, and also in 2008 with 1,760 yards, which was also top of the NFL. Bieniemy was given the title of assistant head coach in 2010. A recurring event that you would see with Bieniemy as he coaches these different teams and players is that he's tough on them. He's hard on them. Even if you're Adrian Peterson, he doesn't care. He's going to be hard on you, which I like, and that attitude that he's going to bring to Washington is amazing for our players, because it's never personal. He loves you, but he does it because he wants you to be excellent. He wants you to be the best ever. And again, that's just the kind of attitude that Washington's been missing for a very long time, and I'm glad it's finally here. In 2013, the Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid hired Bieniemy to be the running backs coach. In 2018, Reid promoted Bieniemy to the offensive coordinator position to succeed Matt Nagy, who has been hired as the Chicago Bears head coach. In Bieniemy's first season as a Chiefs offensive coordinator, the Chiefs were first in the NFL in yards per game and second per points per game. The Chiefs scored the third most points in the season in the NFL's history with 565. Additionally, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes became the second quarterback in the NFL, along with Peyton Manning, to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in a season. In 2019, Bieniemy won his first Super Bowl when the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. In 2022, Bieniemy then won his second Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs after defeating the Philadelphia Eagles 38-35. And all those years in between, they were a game away from making it back to the Super Bowl. So all the years they did not go to the Super Bowl, they still was very, very successful in those years. Now back to Bieniemy's personal life for a second. He has a wife named Mia and two sons. His nephew Jamal played basketball at the University of Oklahoma and the University of Texas El Paso. However, everything wasn't always good for Bieniemy, as he faced some legal troubles in his younger years. Bieniemy was arrested alongside his Colorado teammate following a bar fight in 1988. His college teammate McGee said the dispute arose after Bieniemy alleged that he has been called a racial slur by the bar patron. He pleaded no contest to the disorderly conduct and was sentenced to community service. Bieniemy also received discipline from head coach Bill McCarthy. His legal troubles would continue, as in 1989, Bieniemy was ticketed in Westminster, Colorado for driving a defective vehicle, and in Aruna, Colorado for speeding. In October of 1990, his license would be suspended for a year after another traffic violation. On March 21st, 1991, Bieniemy was caught speeding and driving with a suspended license on Interstate 70 near Rifle, Colorado, going 92 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. On April 17, 1991, Bieniemy failed to appear in court on charges related to the March 21st incident. A bench warrant was issued in Colorado for his arrest on April 23rd, 1991, 2 days after he was drafted. On July 4th, 1990, Bieniemy pleaded no contest to the interfering with a firefighter who has been performing his duties to extinguish a fire in Bieniemy's mother's garage. Bieniemy received an 8-month suspended sentence, and he was suspended for 1 game. And it was more charges to follow after that, as on September 27, 1993, Bieniemy was arrested in Boulder, Colorado for allegedly harassing a female parking attendant. According to the police report, while with his friends, Bieniemy put his hands around the attendant's neck as he startled her. She told the police that Bieniemy and his friends took off their pants and began urinating nearby. Bieniemy was then banned from the University of Colorado for a year after he had yet another suspended license incident, and then he was also charged with arrest for driving under the influence in 2001, and he was docked months' pay. Needless to say, Eric Bieniemy was a wild youngin', bruh. But at some point he had to grow up, as now he is a pretty good guy and he's a successful coach. coach. Bieniemy has had success under several organizations, especially the one that he just left in the Kansas City Chiefs. Given the fact that he won 2 Super Bowls, a lot of people were surprised that he left the Kansas City Chiefs and was wondering why. Bieniemy simply said he wanted a new challenge. Bieniemy said when you're comfortable, you don't grow. And it's no secret that Bieniemy wants to be a head coach in this league. And a lot of people were wondering to this day, why hasn't that came yet? And that's because people just genuinely feel like Bieniemy wasn't calling the shots there in Kansas City, that he had nothing to do with the offense's success. And Bieniemy is on route to show people that that's not the case. So Bieniemy was looking for the next challenge, and it happened to be here in Washington. After a Super Bowl victory with the Kansas City Chiefs, he signed a 2-year deal with the Washington Commanders to become their new offensive coordinator. And I was super excited about it because not given just the history that this guy has with Kansas City, but just his overall history as a coach. The guy's a great coach. He's going to get the best out of these players, and not to mention, he is a mastermind. Andy Reid gave him so much credit for their successful win there in Arizona. Patrick Mahomes, who is regarded to be the best quarterback in the NFL right now, gave Eric Bieniemy so much credit for their success there in Kansas City. And if you got a high praise from a guy like Patrick Mahomes, that says a lot about you. I can't wait to see what Eric Bieniemy does here in Washington. He has a young guy in Sam Howell that's going to be working with. That's going to be his first year, and that has a lot of Washington fans excited. Not just Sam Howell, but all the weapons that we have. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dawson, Curtis Samuel, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. The list goes on. Scott Turner did not do a good job in tapping into these guys' potentials at all, and I fully expect and believe that Eric Bieniemy is going to be the total opposite of that and get the best out of these players. I mean, again, like I said, he won 2 Super Bowls, so you already know he's bringing that championship caliber and mentality here to Washington. Guys like Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne are all fiending for something like that. They want to win a ring, and I'm hoping Eric Bieniemy could bring that here to DC. So yeah, man, there you have it. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below. This is the personal life and professional life of our new offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. Let me know who you guys want to see me do next. Also, don't forget to check out the Chuck Brown documentary and subscribe to my Juan Gotti TV channel. It's a new page that I think you guys will find a liking to. As always, it's me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We want to roll to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.